Adhik Maas or Purshottam Maas. Adhik Maas is the journey of the divine month. Adhik Maas is unique to the traditional Hindu lunar calendar. This extra month is known as Adhik Maas or also known as Adhik Maina. Adhik Maas is dedicated to Lord Sri Krishna. We are all familiar with the term leap year according to the Gregorian calendar. So, which is the standard calendar in most parts of the world. A leap year comes once every 4 years, okay? And contains an extra day. Our Hindu lunar calendars too have the concept of the leap year. In this calendar, a leap year occurs once every 28 to 36 months, 2 to 3 years. In between that, it varies, it's never the same. One whole lunar month is introduced in the calendar, and that leap month is called Adhik Maas. Now, a question may arise: why one whole month? The reason behind that is a lunar month is 29 and a half days long, okay? Not like the Gregorian calendar, whereby we have 28 days or 30 days or 31 days. It is 29 and a half days. So 1 year contains only 354 days, as opposed to an astronomical or solar year, which is 365.25 days long approximately. The missing days are accumulated, resulting in the addition of a 13th month in the lunar calendar once in every 2 to 3 years. Astrologically speaking, the period that the sun remains in a zodiac sign is termed as a solar month, and a lunar month is the time from one new moon day to the next. Therefore, during the year with Adhik Maas, 2 new moon days occur during the same solar month. That's the distinction, which causes the lunar month between the 2 new moon days to be called as the Adhik Maas, and the following lunar month to be called as the Nij Maas of the same solar month. Now, astronomically, the lunar calendar adds 1 extra month every 3rd year. This extra month is known by various names. Okay? As you can see, this is the Tithi as per the lunar months. Okay? So, the different names of Adhik Maas are Mal Maas, Adhik Maina or Adhik Maas, Purshottam Maas, Kal Maina, and there's also one more, South Indians call it something else. However, just as there is the lunar year with the extra month, so there is the lunar year with the diminished or a reduced month, with only 11 months in the year. The lunar year comprising of 11 months only is very rare indeed. It occurs once in every 140 years or once in 190 years. But the extra month or Adhik Maas comes every third year. Adhik Maas adopts the same name of the month that follows the Adhik Maas. Whenever Sankranti does not fall within 1 month, then Adhik Maas occurs. When there are 2 Sankrantis within 1 month, then it becomes the lunar year with 1 reduced month, basically 11 months in 1 year. Vashisht Siddhant is the treatise created by Rishi Vashisht. Mentions that Adhik Maas or extra lunar month occurs after every 32 months, 16 days and 8 ghadis. A ghadi, okay, now a ghadi is a period of 24 minutes and 60 ghadis equals to 24 hours. It is a fact that the solar year is made up of 365 days and about 6 minutes, and the lunar year is made up of 354 days. Therefore, both the solar and the lunar years have gaps of 11 days, 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 12 seconds to be precise. As this gap increases each year, it approximates in 3 years to take 1 month. The moon takes about 27.3 days to make 1 complete orbit around the earth. The earth orbits around the sun once every 365.2422 days. Okay? And the Earth's orbital speed is of 29.79 kilometers per second. The Earth and the Moon in 27.3 days have moved as a system about 1/12 of the ways round the Sun. This means that from one full moon to the next full moon, the moon must travel 2.2 extra days before it appears full. This is due to the curve of the Earth's orbit around the Sun. Now, that was quite detailed for the, Adhik Maas and, the resonance of the Earth, the Sun, and the Moon. The origination of Adhik Maas. It is written in the Devi Bhagavad that meritorious acts and fasting should be carried out during Mal Maas or Adhik Maas, which produce superb results. Just as atomic-sized content with a seed produces a giant and long-living banyan tree, so in the same manner, even a little charitable act done during Mal Maas produces big results. As mentioned, Mal Maas, Purshottam Maas or Adhik Maas. Okay. Now, Mal Maas was the origination and is known as Purshottam Maas. There is a nice story about this. We find the references of this in Padma Puran, Bhavishyotar Puran, other Purans, and Vashisht Siddhant, as I mentioned. So, the story goes like this. According to the lunar year, there were only 12 months. Each of the 12 months was assigned to 12 gods, so that the lunar and solar years do not get out of step with days and the seasons. The far-sighted Rishimunis calculated and facilitated Malmas, the extra month, and the it was added, but there was still one problem that remained. All the 12 months had assigned different gods to all of them, right? But the 13th extra month was not assigned to any god. So Malmas felt sadness and approached Lord Vishnu and said that no god was assigned to him, Adhik Maas, and for that reason he was called Malmas or Malimuch. Adhik Maas further spoke to Lord Vishnu, I am filled with anxiety and I have therefore come to seek your refuge and help, Sharnagati of Sri Hari Vishnu. Lord Vishnu felt pity towards him and agreed and assigned Adhik Maas or Malmas to himself and gave the name Purshottam Maas to this month. Lord Vishnu also said that acquisition of merits during other months through good deeds, jap part, austerities, etc., can be acquired by jap and austerities, right? Can be acquired normally. However, any auspicious jap, charity, um, good deeds, pujas carried out within this 1 month will be dedicated to Sri Hari Vishnu. Okay? Purshottam Granth can be found by many aspects to the special religious significance of this month. By reading and listening to any kathas of Sri Hari, one can acquire high merits during this month. And therefore, he granted Purshottam Maas to Malmas. It is also written in the Bhavishyotar Puran that fasting or eating once a day should commence on the first day of the bright fortnight, Shukla Paksh, and end on the last day of the dark fortnight, Krishna Paksh, according to ability, and to distribute charities and do good deeds. It is also written in the Bhavishyotar Puran that Sri Hari, Sri Krishna himself has said regarding the Adhik Maas Vrat, that by carrying out the Vrat with the sole aim of worshipping the Lord, worshipping God through fasting, cleanliness, charity, puja, merits are acquired which produce unfolding results and all sorts of calamities are overcome. Sri Krishna also, Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even a little advancement in the path of dharma will relieve us from eternal sufferings. Therefore, this year, the Adhik Maas falls during the Bhadrapad month. During this month, whenever we find time in our busy schedule, we have to dedicate it towards Lord Sri Krishna. Adhik Maas, which is also known as Purshottam Maas, in the Padma Puran, it mentions the glories of this Purshottam Maas. This is very, very important for spiritual aspirants. This month, highly auspicious, as one is believed to accrue, to gain innumerable merits by performing good deeds during this period. The scripture described in detail the various activities that a spiritual aspirant should engage in, ranging from reading the scriptures, fasting, dips in the sacred waters, charity, and so on. Among them, the most practical one deemed most suitable for this age of Kali Yuga is Bhagavad Nam, chanting the names of the Lord Sri Krishna. The significance, we talked about the significance, and there are so many benefits to this. If anybody has any dosh in their astrological charts, by performing the appropriate dosh nivaran puja during this month, will completely get rid of their that particular as condition in their charts. Also, if we do certain jobs, etc., it will counter previous life sins. And it's a great opportunity for reading sacred scriptures, attaining siddhis. If one wants to benefit, when we did the session on mantras, we talked about the siddhis, how one can attain a siddhi by doing an X number of japa. This is the perfect month if one wants to attain certain siddhis. Fasting according to one's capacity, and you achieve peace by doing any pujas, japs, yagnas, homes. There are certain observations recommended by the Dharma Shastras for this auspicious, highly auspicious month, Purshottam Maas. And basically, there's also, I wanted to also mention, there are so many stories associated with this mass. I just remembered. In the ancient times, there was Rishi Ashit, Deval, Angiras, Vamdev, and others. They gathered at Naimisharanya Kshetra. Soon, Satpurani too arrived while on a pilgrimage. Welcoming him, the others requested him to do katha, which would bring about moksha. Mokshkarak katha, basically. So, Sutevji Maharaj replied. So, once Naradji visited Narayan Rishi's ashram, he very, very with humbleness prayed, O Prabhu, what is the way to achieve moksha in this Kali Yuga, in this age of darkness, which is plunging in ever increasing hedonism? The Rishi replied, O Muni, if a man was to listen, Shravan, to the divine Leelas of Purshottam Hari Sri Narayan, then even in the Kalyug, he will be granted moksha. Therefore, the rishis listened to the Leela in Adhik Maas. Henceforth, we know it as Purshottam Maas. Prior to this name, we know it was known as Malmas. So see and Malmas means waste. Mal means waste. So it was known as Malmas. So ideally, we should call it Purshottam Maas. It makes it auspicious and it's been accepted by Sri Hari Vishnu. Therefore, since the sun does not enter any rashis during this Adhik Maas or Purshottam Maas, people considered it inauspicious and also referred it to it as waste. Again, grieved by this, it's like a big blot on the person. Purshottam Maas took the form of a human, rather, Adhik Maas took the form of a human and traveled to Vishnu in Vaikuntha. Okay? To attain this honor, blessed by the merciful Vishnu, and gracing him, Sri Krishna's darshan in Golok. And therefore, Sri Krishna accepted this month. From today, I will uplift him to a status similar to mine. It was that great a blessing. And this is the story shared by Narad Muni at Naimisharanya. And it says, all the virtues that have rendered me fame as Purushottam in this world, and my name Purushottam, I gift both to this month. This is the greatest boon ever received. Okay? Can you imagine the whole name, fame, and the abilities? So then Sri Krishna added, whoever performs satkarmas, good deeds in this month, their misery will be eradicated, removed by these satkarmas. Those who perform tapasya or penance in this month will conquer their indriyas, senses, whereas by performing satkarmas in other months, one attains swarg and also returns to earth after their depletion. However, performing these karmas in Purshottam Maas will totally eradicate punarjanma, cycle of birth, rebirth, and death. He then added, I will also forgive all the sins of those who perform penance, tapasya in Purshottam Maas. So this is the greatness, of this Purshottam Maas. There's also another story related to how Draupadi from the Mahabharata, the wife of the Pandavas, in her past birth as Medhavati, suffered spinsterhood. And Durvasa Rishi instructed her to perform tapasya in Purshottam Maas, which she initially refused. Therefore, she suffered Durvasa Muni's curse, and to be delivered from this curse, she prayed to Mahadevji. When this pleased him, she blurted out, a request for a husband 5 times instead of once. And This resulted in her being married to the Pandavas in the next birth as Draupadi. Additionally, for insulting Purshottam Maas, she suffered humiliation at the hands of Dushasan in the assembly, where she was dragged with her hair into the royal assembly of all present there. So, this is due to her previous life curse. But see the greatness of Purshottam Maas. Later, after hearing Purshottam Maas's katha from Sri Krishna, the Pandavas and Draupadi performed tapasya in this month and attained peace. Purushottam Maas, the glory is such that performing any tapasya in any form, even unknowingly in this month, brings spiritual merit. There is also another story, very short one. Once a wealthy king named Draddanwa. Okay, this month is also known as Draddanwa in, I think, in the south. In his former birth, being childless, performed sacrifices for a son. He then got a son, and when the son was 12 years old, he died. In that sorrow and grief, the king and the queen decided to forsake food and sleep for a month, sitting near the son's body. This month again was Adhik Maas. This earned them Paramatma's grace, and they then, Paramatma then brought the son back to life. Because of the multifold tapasya fall in Adhik Maas, the boy came to life. This is the glory of Purshottam Maas. So, basically, there are also certain observations recommended for this Maas. And there is a lot of religious significance of Purshottam Maas. People carry out various types of religious rituals, keeping fast, recitation of religious holy scriptures, mantras, prayers, performing various types of pujas and yagnas. They also fast for various timings, full day, half day, weekly, fortnight, full month, etc. And they're carried out as per tolerance capacity of individuals, keeping fast with one-time vegetarian food. By performing good deeds, sat karma, in this month, the individuals can control their indriyas and they come out from the cycle of punarjanam, cycle of rebirth, and also their miseries. Sins are eliminated. You know, we talked about karma and the theory of karma. With Adhik Maas, it's an exceptional month, as you know, we gathered in these stories from the Purans that if one wants to escape Punarjanam and the cycle, then one should take full opportunity of this auspicious divine month and do their best, you know, with guidance from a bona fide, I specify, bona fide uh, guru or person and perform appropriate tapasyas or siddhis or whatever they want to achieve. And Shraddh, now coming to the point of Shraddh, Shraddh karma or offerings to the ancestors can be also performed in Adhik Maas. But how is it performed? It's only performed if the person, if the Shraddh karma for a person who's deceased is done on a monthly basis. So, if Masik Shraddh can be performed on the same tithi, even though it's Adhik Maas or Purshottam Maas, you select the same tithi and you can perform the Shraddh. And even the Shraddh performed in this Maas gets the, recommended or the, ultimate fruits from the Shraddh for both the performer and the deceased person. Yeah, it's also said that one gets 10 times better results whilst even rectifying illicit effects of a particular graha dosh during Adhik Maas. So a lot of things performed during this month, the pujas, etc., they fructify on a high level. So rituals related to Dosh Nivaran Puja, Chaturmas, Ekadashi Vrat. There is 2 Ekadashis in this Adhik Maas, yeah, and one can get again highlighted falls of these Ekadashis. And those Ekadashis, if you're doing a few Ekadashis in the year, if you can sustain, then please try and follow these 2 Ekadashis in Adhik Maas. Okay. And there's also some shastras recommended of things that one should not do, or certain rituals that cannot be performed. For example, Devta Pran Pratishta, new idols of gods in a temple, a new temple or whatever, cannot be done during Adhik Maas. Yagnas, but not any form of yagna. It's only certain yagna that cannot be done during this Adhik Maas. Any vrat associated to the goddesses are prohibited. But Ekadashi, as I talked about it, Vrat can be done during Adhik Maas. A child's first hair removing ceremony of a newborn child cannot be performed in this month. Alcohol, non-veg, abstinence from sexual activity. Marriages are rigorously prohibited during this month. Grah Pravesh, housewarming ceremony, or Vastu, Shanti, of entering a new house is also prohibited in Adhik Maas. And the recommendation is speak only truth in this month and observe as much silence by meditating on the Supreme Lord. Now, during this month, the Purshottam Maas begins on the 18th for us for this year 2020. And for those of you who were part of the journey that we had planned unfortunately, due to Corona or whatever reasons, it was curtailed. However, that would have begun by now because we were going to also perform the uh, Mahalaya Shraddh. And so, enjoy this journey of Adhik Maas. Please observe the points. I've told you various stories as well of what happens by saying the wrong thing during Adhik Maas. So, pray, hear, say, watch, speak, feel, but only Harinam. Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Krishna. And the jap of Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya is one that will enhance anybody's journey on this Adhik Maas. So please enjoy this Adhik Maas, and we can go to the questions now.